Today's video is a sneak peek of what will be up at FromTheField.farm this Friday. And this video is with John Alcock from Sunshine Farm here in Kelowna, British Columbia. And John was one of my first mentors when I first got into farming. I learned so much from him, especially in regards to ecology and finding balance with nature and using nature as sort of a path of least resistance on how to be successful on the farm with growing healthy crops. And John is a master seed saver, and they save a lot of seed up at Sunshine Farm. And this week's video is entirely dedicated to saving seed. There's 20 subject videos specifically about crops and things like Stecklings, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. So just because John's going to kind of jump into it, because this is just kind of a snippet of the entire hour-long video. But a Steckling is essentially taking an annual plant, preserving it over the winter, and planting it back in the ground. So this is a carrot, right? Just pulled out of the ground, just pulled this out of my front yard. And you could actually save this carrot for seed, because carrots are biennial, so they seed the next year. So you could plant a carrot in the early summer, pull it out of the ground in the fall, pick your perfect carrot that you like, that you want to save, and then replant that again in the spring, and then it will go to flower, and then you can save the seed. That's what a Steckling is. So John in this video is going to talk about how you can use Stecklings and what kind of things you can use as Stecklings.
Do you think there's much about the select, because I think a lot of people probably wouldn't realize that you can save seed from a vegetable or plant that you've harvested. Do you think there's something in finding a selection of like eating that plant and going like, there's something more unique or prolific about this plant now that I want to save seed, and eating it might be part of that selection process?
Oh, absolutely. Like the carrot. So if you find a carrot with a really interesting, unusual color, or a flavor that really appeals to you, maybe sweetness or maybe the spiciness, similar to a purple dragon carrot that has that nice spiciness. What you do when you're harvesting your Stecklings, so in the fall you select all those ones when you do your main harvest, all those ones that are have your good color, good shape, good size, and then the flavor. So what you do is you take the bottom off and you taste them, and make sure, because probably, I don't know, 1 out of 100 or 1 out of 1,000 carrots, but there's the odd carrot that just doesn't have it, right? So you want to make sure that you're saving seed from a really good flavored carrot or vegetable. So when you cut that off and taste it, before you bag it, you let that carrot callus. So you don't want to put, so you just let it kind of heal over a little bit. So just leave it out in the sun, leave it to dry, and then you can put it in your storage. We store our Stecklings in poly bags, perforated poly bags, in the cooler. So minimum of 90 days between 0 and 7 degrees Celsius. So that's kind of the magic numbers for beets, carrots. Onions don't really need that. But
I would never imagine that you can taste the carrot that you're going to save as a Steckling. But just what, as you described, letting it callus over and heal, it's not much different than a human being in a way.
No.
That's interesting.
And you can,
Crazy.
yeah, you know, you will lose a few more in your bag, and so we always, you know, so we're maybe they go in the cooler in October. So in December we'll have a look at them and make sure that if there's any that are spoiling, pull those out because they may infect, you know, the rest of the bag. Pull those out, clean it up, and get your bag back in the cooler. Something else that's somewhat important that we've kind of discovered, it's not really in any of the literature, but when you take your Stecklings out of the cooler in the spring and you're going to be planting them, we move them from the cooler to the root cellar. So we warm them up slowly. So over the course of maybe even a week, and then maybe even a day, just out in the bag still, in the shade obviously, because you don't want them to cook in a poly bag, but just warm them up. And potatoes, that's really important too, to do. Carrots, beets, just warm them up a bit. Just taking them from the, you know, the very cool cooler and putting them into the cool ground in the spring, and it'll just they don't really kick out a dormancy the way that you really want them to. So I think that's an important thing as well. So similar to the beet, so just twist it off. We don't want to damage the top there. You can wash them or leave soil on them. We always wash all of ours that go into storage for Steckling. But if we want to find out, maybe we should wash it, and then we can cut it like a Steckling and check the flavor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, or we could just I could wipe it off. We could wipe it off and
sure.
Just.
Yeah, this is so this is our Rouge Sang Violette. This is one of our French heirloom carrots, and I suspect it's going to have pretty good flavor.
So you can taste that, and then you can plant that again. You're saying if you let that scab over.
So just let that dry off and callus off, and
lovely.
So that's a beautiful flavor. That would be a good Steckling. So
wow.
Just go along in the spring with a dibble, drop them in right to just the top of the shoulder there. Make sure you leave your crown exposed, and boom, it throws up that flower stalk, and then, like I say, it has all those benefits. Talking to people with home gardens too, some people actually plant ornamental carrots, right? That, like, depending upon, like, this variety actually has a tinge of red, kind of like the shoulder here. This is a Rouge Sang Violette. So it'll have a tinge of red, or black Spanish. The flowers are slightly purple, and so ornamental, but produce your carrot seed, and then also bring in your beneficial insects.
If you guys enjoyed that video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you're interested in more long form content like this, head over to fromthefield.farm. All right, see you in the next video.